Welcome. We're here live at First Financial Bank on the Loop in Stephenville. I am Mike Young with the head coach of the Texans, Ronnie Hearne. Mike, gosh, we got a lot of people in here today.
It's great.
Oh, man.
Spring break. I didn't think this many people would be here, but I appreciate everybody that's here today.
Well, absolutely. It's been a great season, too. And let's get right to it here because I know you got to bail out of here in about 15 minutes for a conference call, NCAA-wise. So Misty Wilson will be joining us the last 15 minutes of the show today. But the Texans did make the Lone Star Conference Finals out in Allen. Offense ruled the first game, defense the second, and the subs nearly pulled out the third.
Right. It was, I'm real proud of my team. I thought we did a great job preparing for each game. I thought our senior captains did a great job of showing a lot of leadership and keeping our team focused all during the week. And I was proud of my coaches. And it was a good tournament for us. We didn't win it, but we're still playing basketball. And I think the experience we got, the things that we learned in that conference tournament, the way our bench came in and gave us, some great minutes, I think it's really going to give us some momentum going into the regional tournament.
That had to make you feel really good the way they handled Commerce because they did not look well there. But the same team didn't show up in Allen that showed up in Commerce.
Right. We played them on Saturday and lost to them at Commerce. And we come back on Wednesday in that first half, probably the best 20 minutes of basketball that we played all year long. So I think that shows you, really what kind of team we really have that first half. And I don't know if we could have played much better. We had 50 points and shot the ball well, played good defense. Really ran our offense well, just did everything that you'd want your team to do. So, I was real proud of my team, after losing to a team, a very talented team, as a matter of fact. And to come back a couple of days later and play that well was really gratifying.
And then against Texas Women's on Friday, that's a team you also had lost to the last time you played them, and you just slammed the door on them.
Right. I really thought both those games would be close, and definitely the Texas Women's game, I thought it would really be a close game. And, every game's a different game, and it was totally different from the Commerce game. And really played good defense. I think they had 21 points the first half. And we told them at halftime, the second half, we need to hold them to 25 points or less, and we held them to 25 points. So great defensive job by our team.
You held Texas Women's without a field goal for 9 minutes and 45 seconds. That's a quarter of the game that they didn't get the ball in the hoop except for the foul line.
Right. Now, I think they made 6 free throws during that 9+ minutes. And of course, you don't really realize that when you're coaching a game. You just think about one possession at a time. But after the game, when I saw the stats, I couldn't hardly believe that they didn't score a field goal for that long.
What pleased you more, the offensive explosion in the first game or the defense in the second?
Probably the defense, because a lot of games you're going to struggle offensively, and that's what keeps you in the game, playing good defense.
Now against West Texas, you fell behind by 14 early, and then the subs came in and did a whale of a job. And it's not just Raven McGrath, it was Raven, it was Pakawobi, it was Tori Downs, a whole bunch of people. Carly Moore was another one who just lifted everybody else up.
Right, all 4 of those girls really played well, and another girl when we were making that comeback was Megan Odell, knocking down those threes. That was really big.
Her shot came back off vacation at the right time.
Right, yeah, definitely. But the 2 freshmen, Tori and Pac, they get out there and play with no fear. They're talented young ladies, and they really gave us a big lift off the bench. And then, like you said, Carly Moore, she got that tip in at the end of the half to give us a little momentum going into the half. And then Carly played a good game the whole game.
Very, very deep squad, that's for sure.
And Raven, I'm not going to forget Raven.
How can you forget Raven?
Right, you can't forget Raven.
Oh, there's no way.
Right.
Now, you went with a different combination to finish the game against West Texas than you normally would. What made you change to that?
Well, we were in foul trouble.
Was that it, just foul trouble in general? Because you did have a lot of fouls.
Brianna had 4 fouls, Kira had 4 fouls, Kathy had 4 fouls. So that's pretty obvious why they weren't out there. And then I know Bree fouled out. I don't know if Kiera and Kathy fouled out. I don't remember.
I think Kathy stayed in there if I remember right. Bree did foul out.
I did.
But yeah, they were hanging on the edge all second half.
And the girls that were in there were doing a great job. And then you got players in foul trouble, and you want to save them as long as you can. Then we had definitely got them back in there at the end.
Yeah, it looked like just you ran out of gas at the very end, because the last couple of minutes that's the best way to put it, ran out of gas.
Well, I don't know if we ran out of gas, but WT made their free throws. It's obvious we didn't make our free throws. We missed some easy shots, didn't get some stops at the end, but I was real proud of my team. And I told them after the game, there's one thing about it: we're going to have another opportunity to play them again.
Well, don't feel bad. Dale Jr. ran out of gas in Las Vegas and lost his race there, so you had a correlation there.
I saw that. I guess he needs to get a bigger gas tank. I don't know what the rules are.
Or a better calculator, one or the other.
Something.
Brianna Bledsoe named to the all-tournament team. She double-doubled in 2 of the 3 games. What more can you say about her?
And selected all-tournament. So Bree had a great tournament, had a great year. And I told the team last night before the selection show, that's quite an honor. Second team all-conference. When you think about the teams in our conference, 9 teams, you think about all the quality players that are in our conference, and she's in the top 10, so that was quite an honor for her. And then Shanae getting academic all-conference, that's a great honor for Shanae. And Kathy, newcomer of the year, it's a great honor for her. Of course, Kiera was defensive player of the year, first team all-conference, and player of the year, and that's 2 years in a row. She's been defensive player of the year and player of the year, and that doesn't happen very often.
You mentioned Kiera. She kind of struggled in the tournament a little bit. Now, maybe we're just spoiled here, 14 and 10, and that seems like it's an off game for her against WT. But I noticed she was missing shots she normally makes, and she really seems to be finding it at the foul line. Is that just the rigors of the regular season?
Well, of course, when you're playing against Tarleton State and you got an All-American post player, that's really going to be the focus for the other team defensively. So, it's just not Kiera, it's the other team and what they're doing to keep her from getting touches, and when she gets the ball, double, triple team her. And she did struggle a little bit, but, we definitely wouldn't be the team that we are, and we wouldn't have been in the conference tournament or in the conference championship game without Kiera Wright.
Golden points indeed. This is the Ronnie Hearne Show. It's live from First Financial Bank in Stephenville. Come on by. Join the crowd here. Got some things to give away, too. We continue after this. In Stephenville. Boots Elliott running the board for us today. It's all an adventure.
That's that Panhandle boy. You can't figure it out.
Oh, no. You're not going to let him live that down. All right. Well, let's talk about the brackets, which you saw last night. And the Texans have drawn Texas A&M International, a team you haven't played in a while here. But let's take a look at the overall bracket. We knew WT was going to be number 1, but son of a gun, there's a possibility we could be playing Midwestern State again in this bracket.
Sure is. And very interesting selection show last night. Some very, very disappointed coaches and players and fans after last night's show. But, of course, WT ended up 1. Mason State 2, Tarleton 3, Pueblo, Colorado State at Pueblo was 4.
It really got jumbled.
Tarleton was 3. Yeah, Pueblo was 4. I think number 5 was St. Mary's, and then A&M International was 6. Midwestern was 7, which was a big surprise. And then number 8 was St. Edwards, who had the automatic bid. But I know Fort Lewis got to be very disappointed. They were 7 going into the conference tournaments, and they got bumped, of course, by St. Edwards, who got the automatic bid. But Midwestern was number 9, so they jumped 2 spots and went over Fort Lewis. And Fort Lewis had just beat Mason State the week before, the number 1.
We beat Fort Lewis early in the year.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Texas Women's, who, tied with us for second place in the conference. Made it to the semifinals, just like Midwestern did in the conference tournament. So I'm sure they were expecting to be 7 or 8. Probably 7 is where they expected to be.
It didn't happen.
And they didn't make it. So they are very disappointed. So on Friday at noon, we'll play A&M International at 2:30. Midwestern will play Mesa in our bracket. And then St. Edwards will play WT at 5. And then at 7:30, St. Mary's will play Pueblo.
I know you have to get out of here, but I got to ask you one more question. If you had your choice to be playing in Canyon or playing in Colorado, where would you rather go?
I love Colorado. It's a beautiful state, but I don't want to go across the Rocky Mountains and play somebody in Grand Junction, so definitely Canyon. And so we were real pleased with that.
All right, very good. Ronnie Hearne, I know you have to go because of NCAA commitments and stuff here, but Misty Wilson will take over. So let me just wish you the best of luck.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
We'll make the trip to Canyon.
All right.
It's the Ronnie Hearne Show. It continues after this. And welcome back to the Ronnie Hearne First Financial Bank. And we're joined now by Misty Wilson, as Ronnie has had to go and do some conference calling here since we're in the NCAA version of this thing now. And Misty, welcome to the show. And let me backtrack a little bit here to the NCAA, not the NCAA, Mike, come on, Lone Star Conference Tournament, to where we saw so many great efforts from the subs off the bench. We know what the starters will give you each and every game, but it's like I was asking Ronnie, and I want to get your input from this here. It was Raven McGrath, it was Parker Roby, it was Tori Downs, it was Carly Moore. All kinds of people just really stepped up the entire tournament.
Yeah, we've been stressing that to them all week, or all year really, that their time will come where, they'll have to carry the load, and I think that was definitely Saturday night. They proved they were up to the task.
Do you ever have to give them pep talk saying it's going to happen, it's going to happen?
No, you think about who they're playing against every day in practice. They're naturally going to get better because they're playing against Kiara Wright, Brianna Bledsoe, Shanae Lawrence, Kathy Thomas. So they're naturally going to get better, and, mentally, I think they do a good job of staying in tune with the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, now it's a team that the Texans haven't played in 7 years in Texas A&M International. Ronnie Hearne has 210 wins at Tarleton. The last time that he faced the school, he had 72. The first time, he only had 5 wins. It was over 500. Boy, it's been a long time.
Yes, it has. It kind of made me feel old whenever Nate told me that earlier.
You didn't play against them, did you?
I don't know that I ever played against them in my career, but I was coaching whenever we played them.
Okay.
He said that one of the girls that I had recruited was a freshman at the time, and seems like graduated for a while.
Yeah, that's for sure. It has been a long while. So you've been watching tape on International. What do they bring to the table?
Yeah, I watched some video last night. They have a really good post player that averages 16.5 points a game. And then they have 2 really good shooters that are shooting over 40% from the three-point line. One comes off the bench, actually. So they carry the bulk of their scoring. I think there's 2 girls averaging 16 points a game, and then the one that comes off the bench is averaging 10.
Wow, no kidding. What kind of challenge is that going to be for Kiara?
Well, Kiara, Shanae, our philosophy is team defense. We each guard a girl, but hopefully with their back to the basket, the guards can help and things like that.
It almost sounds like, from what you're telling me here, from the inside play they have and the outside play, this almost sounds like a smaller version of WT.
Yeah, they run the floor well. They get down the floor in transition. Like I said, they can spot up and shoot in transition. Their point guard can get it and go. She does a good job of generating offense for the guards and for the post. And their weak side rebounder, which is their 4 player, is a great offensive rebounder. So,
how much time do you spend looking at tape? I know it's a lot.
Yeah, a lot. I don't know that I could do a time. It probably depends on who the WT. They run a lot of different stuff. A&M International looks like they were in the same place, so maybe it'll be a little easier with them.
So what do you concentrate on, inside or outside, or is it kind of a hybrid?
A hybrid. I concentrate on what they run. Personnel is a big deal. What they like to do, what they want to do, and trying to figure out ways to take that away.
Defensively, what do they do?
They mixed it up. They played some half-court 2-3 zone against St. Mary's. They played man against everybody else. I never saw them press, but I never saw them play from behind either. So,
something that I don't think a lot of people pay attention to here was that the Texans tend to press very well. And I know Ronnie doesn't want to use it the entire game because he can wear people out if he does that. But he does choose correct times in the second half to use the press, and it has caused turnovers and it's caused problems for the opponents.
Running a press is a great way to generate energy for your team. When the girls seem a little flat on defense, we might throw it in on a dead ball or on a made free throw if we can make a free throw. But that's what we use it for, is to really get them going and put a fire in them.
By going to Canyon, is it going to feel like a Lone Star Conference game more than an NCAA?
Well, it's definitely an advantage. We practiced twice in there before we played them. Played a game in there. We'll have a couple practices again. So, I definitely feel like it's an advantage.
Something that we had last year, which I'm glad we don't have this year, when we went to Grand Junction last year, they had a pipe break under their floor. And I looked at the floor, and the floor was kind of wobbly out there. We don't have that.
Kind of like a golf course last year.
No lie.
More than a basketball court. But, just the altitude, the difference, the change in environment. That's nice to be able to avoid that, the travel. There's so many factors that go into getting there, and the stress and the worry, and it's nice to just be able to get on a bus and go and be there.
As a coach, what's the number one thing you have to worry about?
Scouting report. Who we're playing, what they do, what they want to do, preparing our players.
Because I know that you're one of the busiest people on the team.
Well, it's Coach Hearne needs his time to get his mind right, and you kind of want your head coach to coach with a clear mind, and that's what I try to do, is alleviate all the garbage that might be in his mind.
To kind of let everybody know in here, Misty Wilson will work on the bus, but I'm telling you, when she goes to sleep, an earthquake can't wake her up. I've seen you in different contortions on seats there that are just unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
You really crash.
Believe it or not, I don't even take yoga. I just kind of find a way to get in that position.
You invent it. That's it. It's the Ronnie Hearne Show with Misty Wilson filling in for Ronnie. We're live at First Financial Bank, and we continue after this. And back we are. It's the Ronnie Hearne Show. Live at First Financial Bank on the loop in Stephenville, and we'll give some things away here in just a moment. Got a few other things we're going to ask Misty Wilson here, is filling in for Ronnie. What was your impression of the draw out here? Because we drew international, but then after that, if we take care of business, it'll either be Mesa or Midwestern State, which I think is going to be a very interesting matchup right there. So what was your impression of the draw?
I like our side of the bracket. Mesa is a great team. We got to see them play last year. I know they lost their All-American, but it seems like they've got a few more stepping up in her spot. And, of course, Midwestern we're familiar with. We've seen them several times. And like Coach Hearne said, that was kind of a shock, considering they were 9 going in, and there were 2 other ones ahead of them, in probably better position. So,
there's been a lot said, a lot of ballyhooed about the formula for getting teams into the top 8 here, and I'm sure Texas Women's is thinking about that this morning here, just saying what do we have to do to get into the tournament? We finished second in our conference, and what do we do here?
Yeah, I guess that's why it's called March Madness. I don't know. no rhyme or reason.
That's true. Well, the Texans are 2-0 lifetime against the Dust Devils, which I like that name. Both of those wins coming at Wisdom Gym. Last time the two schools faced each other, Tarleton had never won a Lone Star Conference or NCAA tournament game. Neither Shelby or Peyton Adamson had played a game at Tarleton. Kiara Wright, Branda Bledsoe, Shanae Lawrence, sophomores in high school. And that was the last time the Texas A&M International was the opponent. So anything that we learned from them from long ago has vanished.
Yeah, they've changed coaches. I think that coach, this is her second year there. So it'll be different. Players are different. And even if it was last year, you still have to prepare because it's a different team. You look at Midwestern. They're the same team as they were last year, but they're very different this year.
That's very true.
So you can't base it on what they did last year or even the year before or whatever.
We're talking with assistant coach Misty Wilson here, Ronnie Hearne. He was here for the first half of the show, has had to go back and do some NCAA duties, so we welcome Misty in here. They have to travel from Laredo. That's a heck of a long trip. Advantage?
I really don't know that West Texas area. I know I've heard of Laredo, and I've heard Coach Dacus make jokes about it, but I don't know exactly where it is on the map, and
It is a long way. It's down further than Corpus Christi.
well, then good. The more travel they have to do, I guess it's in our favor.
All right. Well, this is the first time that we faced a team from the Heartland Conference. Amazingly so. This is the very first time. So, any advantage to any of that?
Well, Coach Hearne and I were talking, I think, on the way home from the conference tournament, and we both said we just hope we play somebody from another conference. Being in the Lone Star Conference and the strength of the talent in that conference, it's kind of disappointing when you have to travel somewhere and then end up playing another conference opponent in the NC2A tournament. So we were happy to play somebody different. I think our players will be happy to play somebody different, to prepare for somebody different. So that's the nice part is we got somebody from a different conference.
I remember talking to a couple of the Midwestern players last year, and I go, "Gee whiz, we sure traveled a long way just to play each other again."
Yeah.
We
could have been in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, no question about that. What were some of the pluses from out in Allen that you saw?
Well, I think, the opportunity that our bench had to contribute and to mature and to learn. I know Pac, I remember Coach Hearne in timeout, talking to her about one of her fouls, and I think there was 8 seconds left on the shot clock, and she fouled, and, she was just like, yes, sir, yes, sir. You could just tell she was kind of soaking that in and really absorbing that learning experience. So that's a big thing. Rest, preparation, just the wear and tear of back-to-back games, and it's all the way we do our conference tournament and the way they kind of mirror the NC2A tournament is really nice. It really helps.
And what were some of the minuses that need to be corrected?
I think probably it's a unanimous decision that it's free throw shooting.
Good answer.
Missing 14 free throws, it's it's hard to win games, and that's just probably more mental than physical. They all know how to shoot them. It's just the pressure and the experience.
Kiara looked like she was really fighting at the foul line in that last game.
Yeah, she dreads going there, and we're going to really try to get a mindset in her that she gets fouled, she's got to walk into that line with confidence and knock it down.
All right, well, before we forget, let's give away some things here. You've got some names that have been drawn, so fire away.
All right, the first one is Stephanie Sims.
Stephanie Sims, holding a can of Dr. Pepper, didn't expect it. Well, hey, Stephanie, you just got yourself a shirt. All right.
And the second one, I think, is Travis Livingston.
Travis Livingston. Oh, well, sounds good. There he is over there. This is the first time in about 2 or 3 weeks a Plowboy hasn't won anything, but it's spring break, so maybe they just missed out on this one.
Yeah, they're somewhere else. Their mind's elsewhere.
All right, so I'll ask you the keys to the game from what you've seen so far on tape, and I know you've got a lot more studying to do, but what are the keys now to beating Texas A&M International?
Right now, I would say transition defense and post defense. That would probably be the two that I feel like if we take away their post game, they're going to struggle a little bit.
How about their three-point shooting?
Well, if we can guard their post players, and it's when the ball goes inside, it puts a lot of pressure on your defense, even to recover and get out there on those 3-point shooters. So if you take away that inside game, we can concentrate more on their outside game.
All right, 2:30 on which day now?
Do what?
The first game is going to be which day?
We're playing Friday at noon.
Friday at noon. Okay, real good. And we're leaving Wednesday. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, very good. So Friday at noon, that'll be the first charge, and then after that, we just keep going as far as we can go.
We'll keep playing long as they'll have us.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Misty Wilson, for joining us. And once again, it's Friday at noon, so 11:45 here on KSTV and the Tarleton State Athletic Radio Network. That will be the pregame time as we're going NCAA dancing. So if you, for some reason, you can't get up the canyon, and I don't blame you if you can't, we'll have it for you right here. In the meantime, go Texans.